In this video, we will outline the required steps to recover from the two most common types of card jams seen on these machines. We will be using the provided jog dials to unjam the card. First, a lesson on the XID 8300 jog dials. The XID 8300 has three posts onto which a jog dial can be placed. First, this silver post here, which, when turning, causes the card to move either left or right across the card path. Turning this jog dial post can only move the card if the card is as far left as the post itself. Turning this will not move the card if the card is to the right of the post. For instance, if the card were stuck inside the black flipper unit, this silver post would be unable to move the card. The next jog dial to be aware of would be this post here, which actually flips the flipper unit. And if there's a card inside, the card itself will flip with it. And then thirdly, this lower silver post on the cleaning rollers. Turning this post will cause the card to move in or out of the flipper. The direction that the card travels may vary depending on whether or not the flipper is right side up or upside down. This type of card jam shown here is the most common card jam on the XID 8300. The red arrow here is pointed to the trailing edge of the plastic card. The card tries to leave the flipper unit headed towards the exit side of the printer, but can get stuck sometimes. Here you can see we've created a card jam, and we're starting by placing a jog dial on the black flipper post. Notice we point to the small etched line. This shows the flipper can be put at either 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock. An important note to make is that sometimes the card can be partially outside of the flipper, meaning part of the card remains in the flipper. Be very careful turning this post when the card is halfway in the flipper. If this post is not turning easily, stop turning it. This post must be set to either 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock in order to allow a card to pass through it on the horizontal axis. If the post is at 3 o'clock, it's technically right side up, which means you can turn the lower post on the cleaning roller clockwise to move the card back towards the input. If the flipper were set to 9 o'clock, that means it's upside down, which means you would turn the lower post on the cleaning roller counterclockwise to get the card to exit back through the input slot. Now we will show a demonstration of live jam recovery. This card was jammed just after the flipper as shown. Notice the flipper's in a 9 o'clock position currently. This means if we turn the lower post of the cleaning roller counterclockwise, it will move the card towards the input of the machine. See how we can place a post here and here. We start by turning the silver post on the far left clockwise, which puts the card back into the flipper. In concert, we turn the lower post of the cleaning roller counterclockwise, which actuates the rollers on the flipper itself. We now have a card that's roughly centered inside the flipper again. Next, we're going to flip the flipper so that it's right side up. Notice that as the flipper turns, the card starts to move out of the flipper. The roller starts to spin along with the flipper, so as we turn the flipper, we're making small adjustments with the jog dial shown on the right. So we make an adjustment, make a small counterclockwise turn, and continue until the flipper is at 3 o'clock or its right side up position with the card inside of it. From here, we can turn this lower jog dial clockwise and the card comes back out the input. The second most common type of jam is easier to recover from generally. Another spot you may find a card jammed is literally stuck to the film itself. Notice here we remove the film and the card comes with it. When receiving card jam errors, it's always a good idea to check here to see if this is where the card got stuck.